I hope you guys are fucking happy. I hope you're happy. I mean, to put me through what I've been through these last 4 years, and before that, though, the little times that you were watching me and had police raid on me all the time to make sure that you got little charges on me here and there to build up for your extravagant climax. I hope you're happy. They planned this out. You planned this out. Not only for over a decade, but in 2020, when I was in the middle of my addiction, I was with this guy in Brookfield, and we were going to pick up dope. And it's just me and him in the car, and it's a car he had just bought. So it's just me and him in the car, and we're on our way over, and he gets sick, and he has to puke. So he pulls over on Broadway, down in Farrell. He pulls over on the side of the road down there, and gets out and just starts throwing up everywhere. And I'm like, dude, you know. So, after he pukes, real quick too, you know, like 30 seconds, 45 seconds, whatever, we get back in the car and start going again. I get a message, hey, what are you doing? What do you mean, what am I doing? Your name just came over the scanner. For what? And they said, they don't know, Broadway Avenue and your name is all I remember hearing. And I'm like, I didn't see no cop on the way there, picking up the dope on the way back, and they called me on the way there. So, I'm already looking around like, how would they know I'm on Broadway? I didn't put it together until the next summer. But they were already planning this out. Whatever they were doing, they were planning out. And they were watching me. Illegally! Oh! To know they were watching me. It's not the fact that I know that they've seen so much. I don't care what they've seen. That doesn't bother me one bit. But it's how much they wanted me. It's just... And why? What did I do so wrong to make these people think that the power that they held made them want to come after me so bad? I'd love to know. I'd love to know. Besides not being able to be a good enough man for them and stealing some pills, I'm sure there's other little stupid shit in the middle of all that, but there's really no main good reason besides the ones that they made up, like saying I tried to kidnap my own kid. What made you want me so bad that you end up letting people die and killing people thinking they were me? Wanting it to be me. I know that's exactly how that happened now. When that call went out that day, our phones were still tapped. They took the call because the call couldn't go nowhere else but directly to them. Because they were in on them calls, so any major call that went out would have went through them. Just like when the call went out for me to the attorney that day to talk about my mother's murder and my phone being hacked, they answered it. He says he's calling about his mother's murder, his phone being hacked. They gave themselves away completely. Mac and her sidekick, which I bet was the FBI. I bet that was the FBI, because they said the FBI was working with them. But did they say how much? They said they were working with the state police. Did they also say they were working with probation officers? No. I don't remember reading anything about that. But I was on special probation. And I bet when that petty paraphernalia charge came out, and that was all a lie too. There was no semi-truck that I didn't hazard for, going the other lane for. No. I went past him. He pulled out and pulled me over. They were already watching me. They knew where I was coming from. And they thought they knew what I had. Whatever. What they found was... That's why I know that it was all a setup. because they didn't even charge me with what was hers, actually hers, but what was next to what actually was hers that they said was dope and they said was a pipe. That's what they charged me with, was that paraphernalia. They only wanted that to get me on something so that they could watch me closer with the special probation. That's where the FBI got tied in. But when I go in front of that judge, who should have never charged me, he should have never been anyone to sentence me, that was a conflict of interest, and they knew that. That's how they went through with it. They thought it'd be such an easy catch, an easy done deal. They insulted my intelligence completely. They never thought that I would be able to catch on to what they were doing. But in all, I caught on to all of it, and now I'm catching on to more and more as the days go on, because this is all I fucking think about! So, when I go in front of that judge, they lay down the paper, they lay down documents from their email that they were saying was mine, that they held on to for 15 plus goddamn years. And they showed that to the judge. And they said, look, this is who he is. Which, any intelligent judge would have been like, what does this even mean? It had the Warren Police Department's annual pay and shit like that, annual whatever, and I wouldn't even know how to get this paperwork if I wanted to. I know you guys think I'm a complete idiot, but I say it because I would never even look for that kind of stuff to care where to get it from. I don't know what you were trying to say I was in all that, but it was like that document and the Brandon Frere case. What were you trying to say with that? What does that have to do with anything? School loans and shit. And then I think they were really trying to set me up into something big. I think they really were. They were trying to use anything and everything they could. But then the documents to show who the MTAs or the MA, or I don't know who they were, the Suboxone fentanyl thing, whatever, the Naloxone, I don't know exactly what it was, I forget, I have it, but the documents that they put in this so-called email or Microsoft Drive that they had of mine, again, the Microsoft Drive had nothing to do with me, that had nothing, neither did the email, but the way that they tucked it so nicely, back it so stupidly, actually, in my phone, underneath 50 goddamn apps, idiots, they were really trying to set me up on something big. And I don't know exactly what it was, but I mean, I know that I probably did some of it to myself because of the stupid actions I had, like getting ripped off by the guy in Grove City, and then coming home and taking a picture of myself with a broken-ass gun, telling him he shouldn't have done that. They probably used that and said, look, he's got guns. He's an ex-felon. He's got... No, I don't. The gun was broken. You're an idiot. And you knew that. You knew the gun was broken. Idiot. But the judge wouldn't know that. So whatever you lay in front of this judge, he looked at it and said, oh, okay, all right. But he still should have known better than to sentence me, because it was a conflict of interest. Because now I remember looking back on it, and him asked me if I remember him. And I said no, I don't think so. But in the back of my mind, I thought that he was my attorney when I had my ex write false accusations on me and say I was somewhere that I wasn't, robbing squirrely skin art, when I wasn't even nowhere around, because the girl who wrote the accusations on me, I was actually with her. She was robbing 4-Star Pizza and giving me the money bag to go get cocaine with the same night they were doing that. I think it was the same night. But how could I be there with her? Or how could I be out there doing that when I'm there with her? Or either way, I wasn't nowhere out there. And they all said I wasn't out there. So she got the charge for writing false statements. I think she got a year of probation. But isn't that crazy? Everybody wants to do all this false accusation shit about me. Why? Why do you hate me so much? From the trauma I had from my mother being murdered, knowing that my stepdad killed her all these years, all these goddamn years, and you never would listen to me. 10 minutes.